So, you did it. You got sober. And let's just pause for a second and acknowledge that. That is a monumental achievement, a war won against a ridiculously powerful enemy. But after the celebrations fade, you might be facing a totally new and unexpected battle, a really quiet one, right there in your own home. Look, if you're standing in your living room, you're sober, you're stable, but you feel this weird, invisible wall between you and the people you love most, I need you to hear this. You are not alone. It's a confusing and honestly a painful place to be. You've come all this way just to feel disconnected. Okay, so let's really get into this because what you're feeling, it is not a sign that you're failing. It's actually the opposite. Think of it like this. Addiction burned the old house to the ground. That silence you're hearing, that's the empty lot. It's the cleared ground where you get to be the architect of the life and the connection you've always wanted. And like any good architect, you need a blueprint. We are not talking about some vague inspirational quotes here. No, we're talking about a proven, practical framework for rebuilding a relationship literally brick by brick. This blueprint is called the Sound Relationship House, and it comes from the work of a brilliant relationship expert, Dr. John Gottman. Now, what's so cool about this is its focus on structure. It treats a relationship like something you can actually build, something you can strengthen through specific actions, instead of just sitting around hoping good feelings magically come back. Let's start at the bottom with the foundation. The first 3 levels of this house are what everything else rests on. It all begins with building what are called love maps, which is really just about knowing your partner's inner world. From there, you add the next floor, sharing funness and admiration. And then you practice turning towards each other in all those tiny little moments instead of turning away. These 3 are the bedrock, but it all starts with that first one, and that's where we're going to dig in today.
All right, this first phase is absolutely critical. It's all about accepting one fundamental truth. The person you're with has changed. While you were, understandably, in a fight for your life with addiction, they were still out there navigating life, dealing with stress, and growing on their own.
Think about it like this. A love map is just your detailed, up-to-date knowledge of your partner's hopes, their fears, their stresses, what makes them happy. Addiction is a selfish beast, right? By its very nature, it forces you to focus inward. And in that process, that map to your partner gets outdated. It gets faded. Maybe it's been completely erased. So your first job isn't to apologize again. It's to become a curious explorer of this person you love. So how do you actually do that? 3 simple tools. First, start asking open-ended questions, the kind that can't be answered with a simple yes or no. So instead of, did you have a good day, try, what was the most interesting part of your day? Second, when they answer, your only job is to listen to understand, not to jump in and solve their problem. And third, introduce a little novelty. Seriously, even something as small as trying a new coffee shop together can release brain chemicals that kind of mimic the excitement of early dating. Okay, so once you start redrawing that map, you can begin the next phase, laying the foundation of trust. And let's be real, after addiction, trust isn't just damaged, it's usually demolished. And the way most of us try to rebuild it, well, it's completely backward. And this right here, this illustrates what we call the pressure paradox. We think we need some grand gesture, right? A huge vacation, an expensive gift to prove we've changed. But a lot of the time, that just feels like a payoff, and it actually adds more pressure. The real success, the sliding door moments, they happen in these tiny, almost unnoticeable interactions. It's choosing to connect for 30 seconds instead of looking at your phone. So what do these small bricks of trust look like in real life? Well, it could be creating what some guys call a fatherhood anchor, a non-negotiable 10 minutes of one-on-one time with each kid every single day. It's the simple but huge act of putting your phone face down on the table when your wife starts talking. Or maybe it's a weekly ritual you create, like a truth and trust repair check-in, where you proactively share about your week, the struggles, and the wins. These small, consistent acts, they scream, "You are my priority," way louder than any grand gesture ever could. Now, here's the thing. All of these external actions, drawing maps, laying bricks of trust, they all depend on one thing: you having a stable foundation inside yourself. To be a reliable architect for your family, you first have to be the master of your own inner construction site. And that means having a game plan for when triggers hit. And look, this isn't about just gritting your teeth and using willpower. It's about having a protocol. A step-by-step plan for when your brain starts to go haywire.
You check your basics. Are you hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? You name the trigger, you identify the feeling, you breathe, and then you get to the most powerful part. You learn to surf the urge instead of getting crushed by it. Let's just feel what that's like for a second. Okay, just imagine it. The trigger hits. Maybe it's a stressful email, a random comment someone makes, whatever. And instantly, your mind just starts screaming that old, familiar demand. The craving feels like a 5-alarm fire.
In this moment, your only job is to not react. Just breathe deep into your belly and notice the physical feeling of that urge. Where is it? Is it a tightness in your chest, a pit in your stomach? Just observe it, like a scientist looking at something under a microscope. Don't fight it, don't judge it, just notice it. You'll feel it build up, just like a wave in the ocean, and it'll feel like it's going to crash right over you, that it's going to be overwhelming. This is the peak. But here's the secret. No wave can stay at its peak forever. And if you just hold on, if you just breathe and observe, you will feel it. It's starting to fade. The intensity lets up. The grip loosens. And just like that, the wave has passed. You didn't act. You didn't give in. You are still standing on the shore. You just surfed the urge, and you won. And every single time you do this, that muscle gets stronger.
Okay, you've got the blueprint for the house. You've got the toolkit to manage yourself. The theory part is over. It is time to clock in for your first day on the job as the architect of your new life.
So let's make this real, right now. Here is your challenge. It is one tiny thing for the next 24 hours. Find a moment to ask your wife one open-ended question about her world. Something like, what's really been on your mind lately? And when she answers, your only job is to put your phone away, look her in the eye, and just listen. That's it. Don't solve anything. Don't fix it. Just listen. Because this is the core idea of this whole thing. Forget the past for a minute. Forget the grand apologies. Real, lasting repair is built quietly, in 1,000 tiny moments where you choose to be present, where you choose to be curious, and where you choose to turn towards the person you love. You have done the hardest part. You got sober. That was the war. Now comes the creative part, the part where you actually get to build something beautiful. You have the blueprint, you have the tools, the ground is cleared, so the only question left is, what are you going to start building?